Hey, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to come on here and do a live breakdown stream again and do it this week. So I just wanted to kind of have some stuff here um, that just kind of serves as record for this week. And if you guys know me, then you know that I do these chart sessions kind of as my kind of weekly predictions for my own trading. So it's not anything that I do here is not necessarily I'm sorry, is also kind of like pertaining to my own trading as well. So like it's these chart breakings or these chart breakdown sessions kind of serve as my mental preparation for the week too. So I'm gonna come on here really quickly just to kind of break stuff down and see where we're at for the week, see what's going on, um, and see what we should be looking for the next few weeks. So I don't know how many people are on. It seems like it's just two people on, so it's not anything. But this will just be a recording. So feel free to drop in questions if you guys have them. If not, then whatever. Hit me in the chat. So it's not gonna be too long this time. So going to the weekly time frame on dollar again. I want to start with dollar just to kind of get a better understanding of where everything is going to be trading to, and um, definitely will help with like uh, the currency pairs, and the forex currencies trading. So like Euro USD, Euro futures, etc. Right? Because if we understand where dollar's at, then we could probably understand where those majors are going. So again, long term target. Last week we just kind of had a running, like really running towards this level here, and this is kind of the long term target that we wanted to see hit after taking out this low at 100.220 over the past few weeks. So ideally, I want to see the market continue to run towards this target, and we're making way. There's really nothing here that's really telling us that we should go the other way. Um, we've took out this level of liquidity. We've traded past this low, and really this is the next level we're going to be looking at. So um, ideally, I want to see the market make a run for 99.19. And once we take this out, who knows? I don't know. I really don't have a longer term bias. This could be the start of a continued downward trend. If we hop to the monthly, since we pretty much start a new month, I think tomorrow or Monday, tomorrow or Tuesday, I think we start a new month. We look at this monthly time frame on dollar, we've seen like a higher time frame run into an old fair value gap level here. Um, but really, this whole thing has been consolidation. So I wouldn't be surprised if we run out this low and we go higher, or we run out this low and go lower. So I really don't have a bias as of yet. We're really just consolidating and running for levels of liquidity. And so if we go to the weekly time frame, or back to the daily time frame again, that target again at nine, let's call it 99.13 is going to be the level that we're going to want to see hit. Um, Let me see what Tony's talking about. Tony says for the mentorship, I'm assuming you say you want to see indices for the mentorship. I'm really just gonna do one. I'm gonna pick one, and whatever it is, like whatever the highest kind of voted on one is gonna be the one that I'm gonna do. Um, but this is just kind of my way of giving back, right? Like I want to make sure that everybody, um, I really make money from this space. Like I don't make money on mentorships. I actually made more money this last month than I did from any mentorship that I've done in this past year. So like I really make money from this trading space, and so I want to be able to give back as much as possible because at the end of the day, like um, it's cool. It definitely is cool to make the extra money from trading from teaching, right? But to be honest, like uh I think whenever you can prove that you actually make money from doing this and actually trading, then it's like it's a way bigger testament to your skill set, and so I can't say the same for all the other mentors out there, but I know for me that like this is really what I do, and me giving away everything I do for free is not going to change the fact that this market is still going to do the things that I call out. Um, so yeah, so I don't know if every mentorship will be free after that, but um, you know, it's definitely just my way to give back, right? So exactly, man. I really do want people to learn. I mean, uh, I'm from a community where there's not a lot of access to stuff for people that look like us, and so um, and not even just that, but just in the greater scheme of things too. Like I've seen a lot of people that are struggling, right? And it's regardless of background and race or whatever, but there's a lot of people out there that struggle, and I feel like this can change a lot of people's lives, regardless of where you live, where you're from. If you're well to do, if you're not well to do, this information here, could change a lot of people's lives. So I want to make sure that, I just kind of do my part and give it away. And I'm not going to say this is going to be a forever thing, right? Like, it's not going to be like all my mentorships are going to be free from here on out. But I do want to, at least do one and see what it's like, and see kind of the reception that I get from it. So we'll see. Anyway, so what I want to do is talk about dollar. Just did that one. So let's move on to uh north Nasdaq. I'm saying and I'm saying north. What's going on? So last week coming into Nasdaq, I had a couple levels that I called out. All these levels got hit, right? And so the first level here was going to be the. Let me backtrack so you guys can actually see what happened last week. So let me go here. This was last week's candle. So coming into the week, I had three levels that I wanted to see hit, and those three levels were wow, why is that there? That's weird. Anyway, so this is why this is the last week. Boom. Okay, so the first target was the high of last week. We know that liquidity is going to rest above old highs, so that's the number one reason I had that target. But I think I also had consequent encroachment marked there as kind of a level to see how it responded to that. But weekly targets were this high, the previous month of August high, and then really, if I thought we could make a run back into this old fair value gap here, that was kind of like the third high that I was looking at, and really specifically that consequent encroachment of that gap. And so if we fast forward 5 days, this is what we got last week. We ran straight into this gap and then rejected from here. So with that being said, since we did hit our overall target, I would like to see us continue and go higher, but I will note, since we hit our overall target on Nasdaq, um, that there's a chance we could reverse over. And so the next couple days, I'm going to be watching to see how we treat this level, how we treat a couple levels. First, the first level is this old high. If we're failing to break back above this level, it could signal that we're going to turn around and reverse, especially since we grabbed liquidity inside of this old SIBI and these old highs. So we grabbed a lot of buy side liquidity here. And so really the question is, are we going to fall to the level of sell side that we can run to and potentially go up higher again, or are we going to break through this? So I'm really going to be watching uh, the next couple of days to see how we respond to this. Right now, we really haven't broken structure. On the 4 hour time frame, we ran into this gap. This is our old low right here, and we've really just kind of been trading inside of this range here. So ideally, if I can't call bearishness, right, because the higher time frame still, it really isn't an indication that we're going to go bearish just yet. There was a really good reaction. If you guys, I teach some of my students on how to be counter trend traders on Fridays, and there was a really good setup there that happened on Friday. But ideally, what I want to see happen is I want to see the market stay above uh, this low here. Really, I guess this overall fair value gap. I mean, but ideally, I want to see the market stay above that low at 19,953. And really great sign would be the consequent encroachment of that quick at 19,000. It's called 20,016. So ideally, I want to see the market stay above this if we're going to be bullish. So I want to see something like that happen. Um, let's see what the hour says. Yeah, ideally, I want to be above that. I want to still be bullish. We're getting some bearish kind of pullbacks on these smaller time frames. I just can't call. I mean, technically, there's a break in structure there. I'm gonna be watching this. I don't really have a. This is gonna be one of the few times where I'm not 100% sure on what I want to see next. And so, usually when I trade, there is whenever we hit a target, you have to kind of take a step back from the market to see if price is going to reverse when it hits your target, or it's going to keep riding higher. And so these will kind of be the only times where I'm consistently staying out of the market and just saying like, okay, I want to see the next play the market gives us. Because if I zoom in on this 4 hour or this 1 hour, I could see a world where we still technically haven't broken structure on this 4 hour, but I can see a world where we've traded into some civvies here and we're getting rejection from this huge fair value gap, and this could cause us to run over and really just kind of continue on a bearish trend. But at this point, you kind of have to ask yourself, is this bearish trend going to be long sustained, or is it going to be just something that's a pullback to continue to go higher? And so based on the daily time frame, I'm saying it's a pullback to go higher, but there's a lot of consolidation here yet. And basically what I'm saying is that the week is kind of have to give us a little bit more information before we can really step in and make a trade. And so this is going to be one of those times where you're sitting on your hands, maybe for the first couple days, maybe Monday, Tuesday. If there's a small setup, like a short term, a very, very scalping opportunity or a short term play, then it's okay to take that. But for the most part, when I trade, I like to have a higher time frame kind of like bias that I trade along with for the day, and I don't necessarily have that. Ideally, I like to be bullish, but there's some stuff here that's saying bearishness, right? These broken time frames, us kind of reaching lower on these smaller time frames, a broken structure, and then us reaching for lower sell side liquidity on these smaller time frames. So, if you put a gun on my head, I want to say bullish, but there's some stuff here I don't like for an ideal setup. So maybe if we go to the other indices, it'll kind of give us a bigger picture, a better picture on what's going on. And so ideally, I'm going to say this for now, but I'm also going to put a question mark here. This is not a it's not a high probability setup or high probability week for me yet. And so I might need to see some more information come in later and throughout the week. So if we go to S&P, this is better, right? So this is kind of giving us a little bit more of what we want to see. And what I mean by that is, oops, let me do this. Yeah, let me do this. So ideally, what we're seeing here is the market. The market is really giving us kind of higher highs, right? And it's still running for levels of liquidity. We haven't really traded. We traded to an old target, which was this high here, and we haven't traded back underneath it, which is a good sign, right? It's a good sign that we could potentially continue to run higher. So going down to the 4 hour time frame, what I don't like here is this. I don't like this trend line liquidity building up. That kind of lets me know that we could see a run lower. And so if we do see a run lower, what are levels that we could potentially run to? Well, there's a few. And it's very choppy price action. So again, this is not ideal stuff. But this fair value gap here at 5,734 could be a level that we could run to. It also really hasn't been mitigated. If you look here, we haven't really traded to it. I'm going to draw this sort of exact. Yeah. So we could see us run for this level here. And so I think this could be a potential setup too. So we could be setting ourselves up for a short term bearishness, bearish setup um, to do something like that. Or it could again keep running lower. And I don't really have enough information as of yet to kind of make that decision or that call. Um, yeah, same thing here. If I drop down to smaller time frames, I'm not really seeing too much as far as like it's just a lot of chop, a lot of consolidation. So I'm gonna look at the news before we get off this call just to kind of see what's going on. Uh, all right, so my man, who is this nigga? Like what? Young trader, what's your view on gold? So, and then can you give me $100 to trade along with you? Nah, I'm first. Okay, so I don't know who you are, dude. But so first things first is I don't trade. I'm not gonna give you $100. That's wild. So, second of all, whom are you teaching on the stream? No one's on the stream except me. This is more for recording for my actual like students and whoever is gonna be part of the mentorship coming up. So I just leave it here. That's crazy though. Like I'm not gonna give you any money. Yeah, no. Higher time frame, but if you stick on here, you might learn something, and maybe you can maybe make your own money one day instead of asking people on stream. Higher time frame it's always work out for the best. I'm starting to identify fair value gaps, order blocks. Okay, cool. That's awesome. We'll talk about some of those things in the mentorship. So it's cool. Um, let's see. So ES. Let me hop to. So ES, I really don't have a great call on what's going to happen as of this week. Um, Either, but ideally just looking at price action. If I had to ask myself, I'm always asking myself, where's the liquidity at and where's the market going to run to based on that. And so looking at those smaller time frames, there's a world where I can see that going down. Now, again, I want to see more price action, and I also want to look at the news to see what's going on this week, but that's kind of where I'm thinking for now. Let me get rid of some of these old previous levels. But ideally, I want to see the market do something like that. Um, I think we're still going to go higher because we are trading above those old highs. Let's see though. And let me hop to same thing here on this is ES. Okay, never mind. YM, same thing here. Is we really are trading way above our target for last week, which was these relative. Actually, we've been trading above this all month. So the target for YM is going to be a little different. It's going to be this old high here, and consequent encroachment of this wick, this huge wick that we had. And if we look, since we're trading at an all-time high again, we only can really draw to that level. But I'm going to be watching CE on Dow Jones just to kind of see how we respond to this level. If we really kind of wrestle with this level and we have a hard time breaking through, this could be kind of like the algorithm's way of letting us know the price is going to reverse. So what I want to see here is us run for some level of sell side liquidity. I also don't like how we have this fair value gap that's sitting right at consequent encroachment. This could be setting us up for something like this week where we run higher for the first half of the week and then do something like this, which means that the other pairs that I just reviewed could be in a longer bearish uh, trend. But I can't really bet against the bullishness right now because we haven't broken structure, right? So I still have to kind of stick with this idea of bullishness. But just seeing again, I tend to look at things from a couple of different perspectives, how my trade idea will work, and then how like what levels are kind of like my fail-safe levels to kind of expect this thing not to work. So I usually come into the week with one bias, like I'm bullish this week or I'm bearish this week. I don't play like the whole if we break above this level, then I'll go long, or if we break below this level, I'll go short. Like I don't. I think that puts a lot of confusion in traders' heads, and I think it does. It makes you so you're naturally antsy about what you want to see in the market, and you usually lose a lot of money that way. So I go in with one bias, and if the bias doesn't work for that week, then I usually either a sit out. Very rarely will I make an adjustment. Like if it's just something painfully that I just clearly missed, then I'll make the adjustment. But for the most part, I'm just sitting out waiting for one particular setup for that week in alignment with my bias. So, all right, bet. So that's kind of what I want to see. So if we're sticking with this idea of bullishness, the only thing I can really look at for bullishness here is well, there's a couple levels. So the first one's going to be consequent encroachment of this order block. Again, in the mentorship, I'll talk a little bit more about consequent encroachment. But again, it's this idea that's 50% of a liquidity marker. There's also another one here at this wick, which is also this low, right? And I think I called this out a few weeks ago that I wanted to, whenever we were in this price action here, that I wanted to see the market really respect consequent encroachment. So these are the levels that I'll be looking at for the market to really stay above, at least in the daily time frame. If I hop down to the 4 hour time frame, uh, really same thing. I mean, we're inside of a fair value gap right now. I would like this to say, ah, yeah, it's not really great price action this week. It's also the end of the month too, so wrapping up the end of the month. Usually, stuff tries to. The markets are usually trading back into the range to end the month. So I would not be surprised if we did. Like, I don't think we'll be making higher highs tomorrow. So ideally, if I'm sticking with the bullishness idea, this is what I want to see. I want to either see the market run for this level of 42,424 or 42,250 to run higher. And I'm just going to make the at the lowest one there. But ideally, either one or two of those levels to go higher. And we'll be watching how the market reacts around consequent encroachment. But to be honest, there's just not there's not a great amount of information here. Um, so I really want to see the like how Monday kind of shapes out. Yeah, because I could see a world. I honestly could see a world where we run up in this gap tomorrow, and then spend the rest of the week trading away from it. So I'm not really sure just as of yet. And so again, when I'm not sure, uh, sit out. It's okay. It's way okay. It's more than okay to say you don't know everything about the market and you don't know what the market's going to do. And I think a lot of traders get themselves into trouble because they feel like they need to know everything the market's going to do, or every time they sit down at the table, they feel like they need to take a trade. And that's not how it should go. That's really, I mean, I, if you look at the Telegram, if you look at the personal Telegram, if you're subscribed to the Telegram that I have, I only really try to take one or two trades a week, right? And so I'm trying to find the best opportunity that week to take a trade and then get out. And a lot of that has to do with personal psychology reasons. I know that the more and more trades you try to take in a week, the less and less decisions that you make, you know, good decisions you make. It's just, the basic principle of decision fatigue. But then also too, I don't want to be in front of these charts all day long. Like, yeah, you can make as much money as you want in this world, but I mean, there's also more to life than just sitting in front of a computer just making money all day long or trying to make money all day long, right? Um, but and also just ideally, like I said, for me, I want to take the best setup, best couple setups a week, get in, make my money, get out, go live my life, and then over time scale that and grow that, right? So if you guys have been following along in the challenge that I've been taking, so I turned a $10,000 account into $17,000 in a month, right? So it was about $7,000. It was just under 8,000. It was like 7.5. So it was like $8,000 gain. Then I was able to come back and take that. I added another like 7 or 8. I think it was like 7 to 10 actually $1,000 to that account at the beginning of September, and then made another 5,000 um, on that account as well. So it took it from like 10,000 or 10,000 to 17, added another 10 to 27, and then it's currently sitting at about 32. So my goal with that account is really just to keep growing that, right? And show you guys what the power is. And the whole point of that account was to take a $10,000 account, which is on average the amount of money that an average American has sitting in their bank account, and just grow that as much as possible, right? And so um, again, my goal is to just really keep growing that to the end of the year, see where I'm at, and then just really have fun with it uh, going into 2025, right? And so that's in addition to all the funded stuff. That's in addition to like the other things. And so it's really just showing people that they have options, right? If you want to be a funded trader, you can be a funded trader. Um, do that. And I tell everybody like take as much advantage of the funded stuff as possible, because it might not be your 5 years from now. It might not be your 10 years from now. I think that industry is about to go through a lot of change. Um, and so if you have funded accounts, if you got the opportunity to get funded, take advantage. And as long as the company is reputable, do that. But then also showing people that look, man, you can grow in your own account on your own. Um, I'm at a point now where that $30,000 account is paying me out anywhere from 1,500 to 2 grand a trade, right? And so when you think about the idea of looking for the best setup once a week, coming in making 1,500 to 2 grand, again, I can't promise that people will consistently do this. I'm just showing my results, but think about what you can do with that. I mean, that's a job money, that's income money, right? And I mean, think about, we get so caught up in like this idea of traders making hundreds of thousands of dollars in a day, and I do it sometimes too. Like I subjugate myself to that, where it's like, I've seen traders, um, I've seen traders make crazy amounts of money in this market, right? Like you hop online, hop on Instagram, you've seen people have $10,000 days, $100,000 days, $50,000 days, and I've had some crazy days. Like I've had 5-figure days, right? But um, I would rather consistently be able to pull $1,000, $2,000 out of the market than have one 5-figure day, and then the next 2 months you spend trying to chase that day, or the next month you spend trying to chase that, right? And so being able to consistently pull out money is better for your psychology, at least for me, because I know that I can come to the terminal anytime and do this if I find the right setup. And then also, um, it's just it's more consistent, and it's better again for your psychology. So that's just me. But let me hop over to Euro futures. And so let's see what we're going on here. But yeah, but with that account, my goal is to grow that to a 6-figure account, right? So I want that to be at 100,000, right? That's my goal. That's my long-term goal on that account. That's gonna allow me to pull maybe, and obviously, like if you have $100,000, if you see, you can. There's people online that flip accounts. There's the people online that do stuff that are a lot more aggressive with things. But I'm trying to be very conservative with this account. But 100,000 probably should allow me to pull $3,000 or $4,000 out a trade, right? And so when you think about what you can do with $3,000 or $4,000 on a weekly or biweekly basis, I mean, that's 100 to 200 grand a year. And so that's life changing capital that you can pretty much do whatever you want in life and you're working an hour a week. So, or a couple hours a week, a session a week, right? So, I'm not saying that everybody can do it. I'm not saying that you can do it. I'm just showing you what's potentially possible, right? And showing you that there's a mechanic, there's a mechanism to these markets. So, going to Euro futures, there's a couple levels here that we wanted to run. So, last week, last night, I wanted to see the market really come out and take out this high. This was, I'm sorry. Um, I wanted to see the market take out this high. This was our high from October. I wanted to see the market come up and hit. There was actually a couple levels, I think. And go back and watch last week's call. I had to clean my charts off, but 26. This is the weekly time frame. That's why I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, so um, September, Monday the 23rd was this high. So I had this high marked out as the weekly target that I thought we were going to run to. We just kind of consolidated here. And what this really gave us here was some relative equal highs. We'll talk about this concept in the mentorship. But in this, what this really essentially means that there's a buildup of liquidity sitting above these highs. So the market at some point is going to want to go purge this. They're either going to go purge this to do this, right? Or they're going to purge it to continue to run higher to these highs right here, right? And so that's really what we're going to be watching this week. Ideally, I'm not really seeing a great pullback level. There's just a lot of chop here. So what I want to see happen is the market run for some level of sell side on its way to go up. And if I just don't see a good setup, then I'm just not going to take it. But I don't really see anything that I like. It's just chop. Ideally, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Something like that. There's a world where we could just go straight up, but ideally, best case scenario, I want to see the market run for these lows and then go higher. I'm always looking for some level of sell side for the market to run to before it goes up. I don't see a great pullback level here, and that's why I'm saying that. But I notice there's a lot of liquidity in this area here with these relative equal lows. So I would not be surprised if we came back to this level. And actually, if I zoom in closer, there is an old fair value gap here. It wasn't fully mitigated. I don't know. That's kind of sus, to be honest. But ideally, I want to see something like this happen, where we grab some level of sell side to go lower. It could be at this level. It could be down here at the under these lows. It could be back to this gap. But I want to see something run for these lows, so I can kind of make the idea that we're going to run higher. I definitely think we're taking this out. It's just a matter of how we're doing it. Are we going lower to go higher? Are we going higher to go lower? And so ideally, I want to see the market go lower to go higher. Um, so we'll see what happens. Again, this market is just not great right now. I need more information. And that's not to say that this week won't be a great week, but just as of right now, I need to see what's going on. Rahul Reddy, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, said, "Hey, sir, how are you? I'm good. How are you, sir?" Um, again, um, I just want to make sure that, yeah, so let me hop to GBP and see if there's anything here. I think we're kind of in the same place on GBP. So I think let me hop out of this. So we hit our fair value gap here. And there's really a couple levels. The only difference here is that we hit this high. And there's a couple levels that we didn't, that I want to see the market really retest. We're still trending up and we're making higher highs and reaching for higher levels of buy side. So like I can't really call us to go lower. And that's something you'll see I say a lot where if the market hasn't really give us any bearish intent just because we hit a pullback, hit a target does not necessarily mean that the market's going to fall over once we hit that level. So kind of have to stick with the bias until we see signs of a reversal. What I do like here though is I like this volume imbalance here. And so we'll talk about volume imbalances in the course as well. But a volume imbalance is just essentially a gap between candles, right? Where one candle opens and closes, there's a gap. Ideally, I want to see something like this. If I go down to the daily, it's same idea. I do like how I definitely like how we have been trading back and forth in this range, and price has really at first it hit this fair value gap level, rejected, then traded to the high, then really broke below consequent encroachment. Um, and right now we're kind of just trading up below it, but we closed the week above consequent encroachment, which is a great sign. So I want to see kind of what happens here. But ideally, we could run for this low. We might not even come this low. It could be as low as this old fair value gap here. I'll watch this volume imbalance, but that would be awesome if we just trade to the low end of this gap and then go higher. We'll see. I'm still bullish. I think I'm pretty bullish on this week though, especially after going to lower time frames. And um, again, what I want to see here is the bullish market. So if I don't see my setup exactly play out like the way that I'm drawing it out, I just won't participate. And I think that's again, just if you call the market wrong, there's no reason to participate in it. So don't feel like you have to do that. So that's all I got for this week, guys. Again, so dollar index. Um, I want to see that market continue to go lower. I want to see euro and euro futures, which is basically what I looked at. Euro futures, MGVB pound futures. I want to see those markets continue to go higher. I'll do USD JPY. USD JPY again is going to be aligned with dollar. We had a crazy, crazy pullback. What day was this? This was Friday. Sheesh. Okay, so Friday, this might be the pair that is like going to be the very clearest to me out of everything I've seen this week. I want to see this happen. Let me first go to the higher time frame, the daily, just so I'm not jumping ahead of everything. Oh yeah, this is crazy. Let me go to the weekly. Oh yeah, this is great. If you're trading USD JPY, this is gonna be a fun week. Um, I want to see the market do something like this. Huge SIBI right here. And I want to see the market trade back up into this. And it might take a few days. It might take a few days for this to happen. But ideally, I want to see the market. Is this Monday? So wherever we close at for the end of today, I want to see the market really run up into this gap. I'm just going to say that. And then go lower. So this is a Tuesday thing for sure. Um, but yeah, we're definitely bearish on this. This was a crazy day. Good Lord, what happened on Friday? 146. That's a 500 pip swing. That's insane. Yeah, we're gonna go lower. We're bearish on dollar, and we're bearish for a few reasons. For people who are already existing students of mine, uh, this consequent cushion of this wick, we've consistently traded below the 50% level of it. That's a great sign for bearishness. Going down to the daily time frame, we had a huge break of structure here, just a complete breaking of structure where the market tanked. I think Japan had a new prime minister, maybe. I think that's why the market tanked like this. We're in the process of opening up a fair value gap. There's also a smaller fair value gap here, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we ran up into this over the next couple days and then continue to tank out of this gap. It might spend a couple days in this range or a day or two in this range, but ideally I want to see that go lower. That's a huge breaker setup. So we might see there's two levels I'm going to be looking at. It's going to be this low here, and then this fair value gap there. If the market really has a hesitancy to really trade into this gap and it really stops this level, then I would be looking to sell there, and then also in this gap as well. That's really the main area that I think price will run to. But if I was a USD JPY trader, man, I would be like licking my chops this week. So maybe I'll even take a focus to that this week. I wonder if I pull up yen futures, how that looks. That's opposite, so it's gonna go higher. Yeah, if I was trading the yen or the yen futures is the opposite, but looks like it'll go higher. But if I was trading USD JPY, man, there's gonna be a lot of bearishness this week, I think, based on what we're seeing here. So, with that being said, hopefully you guys capitalize on that. And yeah, make it a good week. So, hopefully, if you guys have any questions, I'll stay on for a couple minutes. But I'm not going to be on too long because I got some stuff I got to do. Raul says, "Hey sir, I'm from India. I'm new to forex, but I have a few years of Indian stock market. Can you suggest a good app for forex trading or website?" So a good app is going to be babypips.com. This is going to give you kind of like baby pips. This is going to give you kind of like your basics about trading forex, right? So new to forex, start learning. I would go through the preschool, I would go through kindergarten, and then I think elementary. And then once you get to like middle school, like leave it alone because it starts talking about oscillators and pivot points. Don't worry about it and stuff. But elementary and kindergarten and preschool are like what you would do to kind of learn a little bit about day trading, at least in the forex space. Um, and then for American stock markets, so I don't know if y'all can trade. You can't trade the indices in the market, in the futures market, because you're not an American citizen. But if you go to like in forex, they have like CFDs, which are banned in the U.S. I think they're allowed in different countries, but Nasdaq would be like Nas 100 on a forex platform. US 500 would be a platform for the S&P 500, and then US 30 would be like Dow Jones, the top 30, 50, and 100. I'm sorry, 30, 100, and 500 stocks. So I would look at those and see if that's something that you can do. So my bad. Sorry, I got caught up in the message. So, um, yeah. So I think this will be a good start for you. And then if you have like if you're interested in American stock markets, um, yeah, I would look in the CFDs for your particular forex broker. So if you guys have any other questions, I'll stay on for like a minute or two. Um, but hopefully you guys found this useful. All right, cool. Well, if you have any other questions, like I said, I'm gonna be doing the mentorship. That's gonna be held probably. I think I said October 6th is when I want to start it, and it'll just be an introduction and kind of like a high level overview into my strategy and how I trade. And really, like I said before, I want to help as many people as possible. So, this again will be an entirely free mentorship. So if you know anybody that is interested in trading, please subscribe to the channel. Please have them subscribe to the channel because this will be giving away a lot of sauce that I picked up over the past 10 years. And again, I want to be in a position just to get this out to the world. So I think this is a lot of value that I'm giving away for free. I think anybody that's took my mentorship in the past will just say like, "Hey, like this is amazing." So if you guys have any of those people or you yourself are interested, if this is your first time watching, subscribe to the channel and make sure that you're good to go for that mentorship to start. Again, it'll kick off next Sunday, and it'll probably be like an hour or two a week, and it'll be a gradual thing. There's not really an end date in sight for it yet, but it'll be teaching some of these concepts, and who knows how long I'll leave it online. Um, I don't know if it'll be a thing I do forever, and this will be how all my mentorships are, but it'll definitely be helpful for a lot of people. So yeah, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and notification bell so you don't miss any of the video classes, live classes that'll be structured like this. Gonna bring my son, Coach Briggs. Yeah, I mean, I would say for sure. I don't know how old he is. If he's, I would assume anybody that's like probably like in middle school or high school. I say at least high school probably would do well with this. Um, but subscribe. Make sure that he's subscribed. If he's with you or if he's not with you, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we'll kick it off next week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me in the chat. Also join the Telegram if you're not already in there. So appreciate it, guys. And yeah, hopefully we can make some good traders. So peace. Oh, he's 20. He trades on his own. Okay, cool. Yeah, so he'll be familiar with a lot of stuff then, and it's just reshaping his head. So to some of these concepts maybe. So all right, well, yeah, like I said, looking forward to help having him on, and anybody else that wants to participate. So appreciate it.